Am I the a-hole for siding with my boyfriend when my sister and brother-in-law tried to take over my business? My sister and I had a falling out, and my boyfriend and I want to know if we should apologize or just move on. I've been running a business for quite a few years now. It was small, but I never really tried to make it anything big. I was content just getting by and doing something I enjoyed. Eventually, I started dating someone who had the time, energy, and resources to help me grow. He rebranded my business, and it grew. It was fun, and eventually, I got my partner more involved. He went to a trade show with me, and we got an idea together to grow the business more. My boyfriend had a great idea to include my sister and her spouse because we thought it would benefit them financially and bring us closer together. Big mistake. Even though my boyfriend and I each invested about 50% into the expansion, and my sister and her stay-at-home husband invested nothing, it wasn't long before they started telling everyone it was their business. I would talk to people who would tell me they talked to the owners, which was funny to me because it was actually my boyfriend and me who risked everything financially to purchase the expansion and grow it. We just invited them to come along for free, and we even gave my brother-in-law a job because he had been unemployed for years. It went downhill from there. My boyfriend and I aren't big on attention, so we didn't really care that people thought my sister and brother-in-law owned the business, but then they started giving their friends huge discounts, sometimes free, and doing it without our consent. On top of all that, my boyfriend and I found out that my dad, who handled accounting, was paying my brother-in-law double what we discussed for working at our company, all without our knowledge. Meanwhile, my boyfriend declined to take a salary for all of the work he was doing for what was now our business, even after he had invested his own personal money into it. I got upset and tried talking to my sister, and my boyfriend tried talking to my brother-in-law, but things quickly fell apart. My brother-in-law started telling my boyfriend he wasn't going to do parts of the job, so my boyfriend and I took on all the work while brother-in-law was making double salary and my boyfriend was taking nothing. I didn't even increase my own salary while we were trying to grow. We realized maybe inviting them to join us was a mistake, but we truly had the best of intentions. We tried to find ways to talk to them, but they got passive-aggressive. Recently, my boyfriend finally told brother-in-law to go F yourself. Anyway, he said that he would, and now they're no longer working for us. My parents have sided with my sister and brother-in-law, but they haven't heard our side. This whole situation hurts because my sister has always been my best friend, but I can't figure out what we did wrong. We've asked, but at this point, they're only rallying the troops against us. I've tried talking to my sister, who won't respond. I want to protect my partner, and I think he was justified after dealing with my brother-in-law's bad attitude for weeks. If we did something wrong, I want to apologize. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Please immediately remove your father's access to your business and accounting and hire a new CPA to review everything. The fact your father took it upon himself to dispense out money without your direct approval as the boss indicates he might have done other things that were not only inappropriate, but may have been done so at a cost to you and your partner. I would encourage you to contact legal counsel at this point to clarify what has happened and what liabilities you've opened yourself up to. If there is anything that occurred with your dad's accounting, then your lawyer can probably provide an idea of what next steps would be appropriate. This sounds horrible, and another reason so many say to never mix business and family. Get your priorities straight. Don't worry about siding with your boyfriend. That's the wrong question. Worry about the fact your sister and brother-in-law screwed you and boyfriend. Why didn't you do anything when your dad paid brother-in-law double salary? That's throwing away your own money and security. Stop being a doormat and protect yourself and your boyfriend. We got a new accountant. It seems like I'm being blamed for destroying the family now because no one is talking. I tried to reach out, but I really didn't feel like we did anything wrong. It's just hard to know. I didn't know if maybe we missed something. The only thing you did wrong was let your sister, brother-in-law, and your father walk all over you for too long. You and your boyfriend enabled their behavior because you're good people who love each other and your work. In a sense, that's really sweet. But in another sense, you opened yourself up to be exploited. Your boyfriend telling brother-in-law to go F himself wasn't doing something wrong. It was him finally doing what needed to be done for what sounds like a long time. You're lucky to be rid of them. If your sister was truly your BFF, she wouldn't have rallied with brother-in-law and your dad to exploit you for cash and credibility. I'm sorry this happened, but your own family used you and your business to inflate themselves at your expense. But now, keep your chin up, be proud of what you've built, and be proud of yourself and your boyfriend for standing up for yourselves and refusing to be taken advantage of any longer. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not offering my inherited apartment to my cousin, even though she's struggling financially? My grandmother passed away last year and left me her 2-bedroom apartment on the Upper East Side. Some people in the family were surprised, but I wasn't. My cousin's side had been estranged for years, and I was the one who stayed close and helped her as she got older. I've been slowly renovating the place to use occasionally when I'm in town. A few weeks ago, my cousin reached out asking if she could live there for a while. She works in a low-paying field and says she's barely affording rent. I told her no. Honestly, I don't think it would be temporary. She's bounced around apartments for years, and I don't want to be stuck in a long-term situation I never signed up for, especially with family. I also just don't want her living in a space my grandmother left specifically to me. She was furious, said I don't even need the place, and my aunt called crying, saying I was punishing her daughter for old family drama. I offered to help her with a deposit elsewhere, but that apparently wasn't enough. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. She can live with your aunt if she's struggling that much. That she got that mad speaks volumes. She expected a free place to live because family. Agreed. Squatters' rights anyone? And in New York, it will take years to evict her. Isn't it better to go back to her mother's house until she gets her finances together? If the shoe were on the other foot, this same cousin and aunt will be the last ones to remember family, shaking my head. The cousin's reaction is all you need. She's unwilling to change anything about her life or her situation. It's just all OP's fault for not helping. With New York's rental and tenant laws, I can't even imagine the jungle hellscape OP would have to machete through to evict her cousin. Don't do it. New York City laws make it that you'll never be able to get rid of her without spending thousands in legal fees. If you let her move in, she will change the locks and challenge you for the ownership. Do not do this. Yep, just rewatched Worst Roommate Ever on Netflix for some light nightmare fuel. The so-called right squatters are nuts. She probably needs to go further and have the locks changed, in case anyone on that side can get a hold of an old key. If OP isn't there regularly, they might walk into a squatter situation with dear old cousin. Get a ring cam or something like that too. Next story. Am I the a-hole for rejecting my brother and telling him he doesn't get what he wants because he's the youngest? I, 21 male, had a messed up family as a kid and was made homeless when I was 16 by my mother, and I only call her that because she biologically is. There's other background to start with. My mother had my half-sister when she was 18, and she was raised by our grandparents. Then my mother married our father and had me and my brother, 19 male. Our father was abusive and left when I was 5. My brother could never remember him, but I could never forget. And the night he left is still a nightmare I have sometimes. Our mother drank a lot, and she hated me. So did our grandparents and my half-sister. They all adored my brother though, and even though his behavior was worse, they twisted it to make it all my fault when he acted out. He broke a window? Somehow they just knew I really put him up to it or made him do it. He went crazy on sugar and broke garden furniture. Even if I wasn't there, it was because I should have been watching him. That was just the way things were. Everyone knew our mother drank but did nothing to help. They knew when she started physically abusing me, and they said it was because I was such a little demon like my father. I was told all the time I was my father's son. My half-sister would say she wished my father had unalived me and stuff like that. She told me we weren't brother and sister, and she didn't want to be my aunt either. She called our grandparents her parents because they basically were, but my brother was her little brother and she was so nice to him. My brother would act super sweet to spend time with me, and then when he'd do something wrong, he started saying it was my fault because he knew nobody would believe me. He'd tell me boys weren't supposed to cry after our mother had abused me, and I was being a baby. Then he'd come to me when our mother was really drunk and expected me to keep him safe. But he'd turn around and say I didn't get him up for school and stuff like that when he slept in my room. I tried talking to my brother about how everyone already hated me and how him blaming me for stuff he did was only making it worse. I even told him I was being abused. He'd answer with stuff like, "They would never believe I did something wrong," or "They already hated you, so why make them hate us both?" Or the worst one, "I don't need to make it, me being abused, his problem." Before I was kicked out, my grandparents had my brother sleep over for like 5 to 6 nights when our mother went away. They didn't want me to come too, so I was left in the house on my own until my mother got back. They called the cops on me twice, why I never found out, but they said they were just checking in and left pretty fast. Once our mother got back, she was mad that I hadn't gone to restock our food supplies. That night, she beat the crap out of me, and the next morning she kicked me out because my brother was hungry and we still had no food. I went to my grandparents and to my half-sister, but they didn't want me, so I stayed homeless for months. When my aunt and uncle, mother's sister and brother-in-law, found out, they came and found me and took me to live with them. They helped me with school and helped me get into college. I stay with them for summer and winter break every year, and it's nice to have people around who don't hate me for existing. My brother reached out to me 3 weeks ago, which was right after my birthday. He acted like we hadn't talked in a week, and he said he wanted to come and see me. I told him I didn't want to see him, and he pushed back and said he really wanted to, that he missed me, and that we're brothers, and I'm older so I can't reject him like that. He said it's not how older siblings treat younger siblings. I told him that nonsense doesn't fly with me, and I hadn't missed him, and this was exactly why. I said he needs to grow up and get over his spoiled little brat attitude because I was done being there for him. He got mad, I think, not sure because tone is sometimes hard to pick up via written word, and told me I don't get to blame him for things, and that he deserves to have a relationship with his sibling. I told him to find our half-sister since she adored him so much. Then I blocked him. It started a crap show, and my aunt and uncle are getting grief from my grandparents because I rejected him. My aunt and uncle had them blocked, but I guess my grandparents have new numbers. They say I'm still my father's little demon like I always was. My aunt told me not to stress, and that she won't let them do this to me. But I feel bad they have to deal with the consequences of what I said. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole, and stay away from those monsters for good. I wish I could give you the biggest hug. I'm so sorry this happened to you. You didn't deserve any of it. You should be incredibly proud of yourself for thriving in spite of the horrendous amounts of abuse you've been through. You're an incredibly resilient and smart young man. I hope you have a wonderful life ahead. I'm staying away. There's nothing that could make me go back to where I'm despised and abused. And it's excused because another abusive person, who hasn't been in my life since I was 5, was my father. Thank you. I hope so. I'd like my life to keep getting better and to one day give a family of my own better than I ever had. Not the a-hole. No one is entitled to a damn thing, and your little brother just got the first taste of consequences for his actions. You are fine. Keep doing what you're doing and don't worry about any of those abusive a-holes. With him being 19 now, I feel like he's going to get more experiences in that. Maybe that'll save him from turning into one of our parents. Last story. My stepsister is frustrated my family members did not give her the same attention during her pregnancy and is now trying to convince everybody I am mentally unstable. Am I the a-hole for my reaction? I am 30 female, 7 months pregnant with my first child. My stepsister Dana is 34 female and her daughter is now 1. My dad married her mother when we were young, 8 and 12, but we were never close. My paternal side of the family also made it clear from the beginning that I am their only grandchild or niece from my father. So while they were nice to Dana growing up, they never really saw her as an additional granddaughter or niece or anything. Everybody was nice to Dana while she was pregnant. We congratulated her, brought gifts for her baby, attended her baby shower, and assumed everything was okay. But ever since I got pregnant, she has been acting crazy, and I honestly have had enough of her nonsense. She is obsessed with my weight and is trying to convince everyone in our family that I am mentally unwell, that I'm following diets and starving myself, so I don't gain too much weight, and that I'm putting my son in danger. I am not. Up until now, at 7 months pregnant, I have gained 7 kilograms, 15 pounds, and my doctor is very happy with my health and how the baby is growing. My son is healthy and has the perfect weight for his age. The doctor said he is not too big, not too small, just perfect. There are no concerns about his development or my health. I am also not dieting. I eat every time I'm hungry, but I'm careful with what I eat and when I eat certain foods. As an example, I won't have cake for breakfast or late at night because we all know it spikes your sugar levels, but I will have cake after lunch. I tested negative for toxoplasmosis, so I only eat really well-done meat. No raw fish, and I make sure to wash all fruits and vegetables really well before eating. Little things like that. Dana's comments have been bothering me for a very long time. I told her to stop. I explained over and over again what I've written above, and ultimately, I started ignoring her. But the thing is, I'm done. Last weekend, we celebrated my grandfather, and apparently I once again proved to her that I'm starving myself because I didn't have some tuna spread. My grandmother loves to cook, and most of the time she makes things from scratch. I love her tuna spread, but I know how she prepares it, with canned tuna and homemade mayo, meaning raw egg. So as much as I love her spread, I can't have it right now because it's not recommended to eat tuna or raw eggs while pregnant. Again, Dana started telling our family things like, see, she used to love the spread and now won't have it because she doesn't want to get fat. She needs mental help immediately. I got up with my husband and told my family that I'm sorry, but I'm done. I deserve peace and to enjoy time with my family, and the only person who needs help is Dana. My family asked me to stay and kicked her out with her husband and daughter, telling her that for the rest of my pregnancy, she will not be invited to gatherings. My stepmom is now bothering me to forgive Dana so that she is not excluded from family gatherings, making it seem like it's my fault my family doesn't want her there. I told her she could have used this energy to make her daughter behave before she had to face the consequences of her stupidity. And if she keeps bothering me, maybe she won't be welcome at family gatherings either. So, am I the a-hole in this? Did she perhaps gain a lot of weight in her pregnancy? To me, it sounds like she's jealous because you aren't experiencing the weight gain she did. Yes, she did. And she also didn't follow the general dietary restrictions for pregnant women like no raw food. Sounds like you've been more than gracious in dealing with her behavior. When she said the thing about the tuna spread, I would have called it right out. You were just pregnant, so you know that eating raw egg, such as what in this spread, isn't advised. So either you're stupid or going out of your way to make me look bad for no reason. Which is it? Not the a-hole. Thank you. She did not follow diet instructions while pregnant. She had sushi, medium raw steak, and probably many other things that technically are not allowed. So I am not sure she cares much about raw eggs.